The topic of this TED Talk is ethnicity, while the thing I'll be portraying is the desire to escape. Not just the desire to escape from the harsh realities of the world, but I mean the actual uprooting everything a person has known to start fresh, to better themselves, even from the struggles they face from back home to the struggles they face on their route over there, even to the struggles they still face when they get to the area they desire. Imagine starting over, leaving that person you have known behind their entire life, their family, home, and friends. Our World War example of this would be when the Pilgrims first settled in the Americas. They let go of everything back in England for a chance to achieve their dream of religious freedom. The hardship they faced the first few months of coming to America has almost destroyed their mission. In conclusion, every single blood, sweat, and tears they put into building their legacy was worth it. Another example is how a lot of people migrate to the United States of America for the American dream. And while there is a lot of fear and struggle of getting to that, some examples of those would be, one is Christopher Columbus. He discovered America back in 1492 by accident, trying to find a more direct route to Asia. While on the voyage there, his crew suffered from dehydration, starvation, and scurvy for the chance to get there. And when he did arrive there, he substituted he had the Native Americans become slaves and had them in harsh environments and killed a lot of them off. Another example would be the Irish in the 1800s. They left Ireland because of the potato famine and they came to America to start anew. However, they were discriminated against and considered the lower class of the whites, basically the low of the low. And then another one would be the Ellis Island, which is a detention center for immigrants used in the 1900s. It was a major area for immigrants to come into America for the American dream. However, thousands of them entered this area to get a fresh start, while a small percentage of them were refused entry for even the smallest accusations, even a slight cough or hiccup, because of fear of spreading diseases into the United States. And the last one would be the Chinese Exclusion Act, which prohibited the immigration of Chinese laborers for 10 years. This affected the number of Chinese whom left appearing China for better opportunities in America to better themselves and the future of their families. They were subjected to terrible work conditions that resulted in some fatal deaths during productions. They went to search for gold, Christianity. Back to Christopher Columbus, they found America by chance. The whole purpose of the deep history lesson is to go into specific detail, explain the difficult time they had faced and all they have suffered to try and make a better home and name for themselves. The great lengths that some people are willing to go can be unbelievable. Over the past 500 years, America, or the United States, has been a safe haven for many people, where people who are searching for a fresh start, such as religious freedom, avoiding prosecution, also from other beliefs that may be illegal in their land. This can be a negative for the United States because until recently, the country hasn't been the most detailed in the background checks of whom they lend in the country. In the presentation, some of the books I mentioned, they don't go into moving over 1,000 miles for just looking for some place nearby to get the most out of the situation. Just a reminder about the history is to put you, the viewer, in the mind of someone making tough choices so that you could fully understand what is going on in this presentation and kind of felt what they felt. The first novel in a collection of short stories by Daniel Alcón I'm going to discuss is called The King is Always Above the People, which follows a traveler who leaves the safety of his home to visit the capital to have some fun and adventure in his life. That movement right there follows the theme of desire to escape, to visit, whether it be for a sense of adventure or to find riches. However, during my reading, I judged that it was for a sense of adventure. Everything seems to go right as rain at first. He is really enjoying himself in the capital, which reveals his purpose to escape. However, and the ending of the comes crashing down when he finds out that his girlfriend back home is pregnant. Once she gets one day and another thing of adventure, I would argue, once she gets that message on his way back with his father's blessing, he shall return back to the capital one day and enjoy another day of adventure. I would argue in this story that the king is his child, while himself is the people. The king is above the people, so when the king came up represented by his girlfriend being pregnant, he left the capital and all adventures behind for his son or future unborn child. This still goes hand in hand with the theme, even though he only left for a little bit and eventually returned back home. The character still gave in to his desire to escape the realities of real life to venture out and have fun, even if it's hinted that the character might return to the capital and enjoy some more fun later on. Another short story I found interesting in this part of the collection called The Refugees by Viet Thanh Nguyen, and it's called Warriors. In this story, a Vietnamese family keeps getting asked to donate money to combat communism back in Vietnam. It's mainly viewed through the eyes of the son who works at the family shop during the summer. In the story, the family keeps getting bothered with Mrs. Ho, another Vietnamese woman, for money to send back home because rebels are going to attack their homeland. However, the mother thinks that making a donation is pointless because she sees the war as futile. Eventually, they give in to save their business because their customers would think negative about them, which in turn will result in the store going out of business because no one's going to buy anything anymore. However, when they go to her house to make amends for Mrs. Ho, they realize while she was passionate about the war because she lost her husband and 2 of her sons to it. In that turn of events, the mother makes a $200 donation to the cause. In my opinion, this is a great connection to the theme of desire to escape. The family, even though they made it to America, the horrors of the war in Vietnam were still haunting them. The people they knew were being haunted by the war. This goes to show, even if you leave the country, there's still a chance that it could find you and bring chaos. The family at first felt forced to donate money to protect their business, which shows the struggles, even though they escaped. But then eventually they learned donating because it was the right thing to do and morally. In conclusion, this will affect your daily lives of everyone. Hundreds of people migrate to the United States every year. So we hope to learn and understand why they are leaving their homeland. We have to put ourselves in their shoes instead of disrespecting them. This is the best way to keep it peaceful and fully understand everyone coming to the country because the United States is a mixture of multiple cultures. Done.
Cool. Oh, my arm's tired.
How long was that?
6 minutes.
Oh my.